Good morning, folks. It's George Adventure here. It is Monday, a cold Monday morning, and today is Monday Inspirational Talk. Again, and of course I do devotionals. I do devotionals every day, and I write notes down, so I can go back and read them, look at them. But I also do it, so I can do these Monday morning inspirational talks. So today, the one I'm going to do this is something kind of near and dear to my heart. It's about godly manhood, men. What men should do, and that's important to me. What men should do, and being a man. What makes a man? What makes a man? Of course, we were made in God's image. God created man first. He created us, then he created Eve, and then put us in the garden together. And we are to be leaders, not just at work or at church, but we're supposed to be leaders in our home too. But it's important for us to be leaders in the church. And the title of this is Lead, Love, Serve. And this is the devotional that I'm in. Lead, love, and serve. And today, the first one I did was the calling of godly manhood. And like I said, I like to go back to my notes. So godly men must lead. Godly men must lead, and that's a fact. We must lead at the church. We must lead at home. We must lead on the job. And that's what God expects us to do. He expects us to be leaders. We're supposed to represent God. Leadership is not an option, is not an optional trait or personality quality. It should be a natural thing. It should come natural to men. It should. But we got a lot of men out there that's not leaders. I've seen it. I've seen it on the job. I've seen it, at church. I've seen it different places. There's some men that are, they just don't step up. This is a very important, that I wrote down, very important statement. It's given to men by God himself. Leadership is given to men by God himself. Think about that. It didn't say it's given to men by your friend or your workplace or whatever. It's given to men by God himself. God expects us to be leaders. That's what he expects out of us. That's his intention for us. We're to be leaders. In church, at home, on the job, wherever we're at, we're supposed to step up and be leaders. Leadership is stewardship. Leadership is stewardship. God entrusts men with influence in their work, homes, and in the wider community. Work, homes, and in the wider community. That includes church. We have to lead in church. It takes men to lead. It does. When I was working at the power company, I was a leader there. I was a supervisor. I was in safety for a while, so I was a leader. They picked me because I was a leader. They came to me. They basically came to me and told me I was going to be a supervisor. I didn't ask them. They told me, we want you to be a supervisor. And that's because I was a leader. I was a leader. And he requires that they lead with faithfulness, integrity, and humility. Integrity and humility, to me, are the most, and honesty, being honest, to me, are the most important things about being a man. And we're living in a country now where integrity is getting rare. It's getting rare, and it's getting less and less. You know, you see people that don't want to do the right things. You see a lot of men that don't want to do the right things. But in humility, being humble is so important. It's just so important. Just being a humble person. It's God's character. It's God's character. We must reflect God's character. Being humble, having integrity, telling the truth. Don't lie. Don't lie to your people. Don't lie to your co-workers. Don't lie to church. Don't lie to your family. Don't lie to your wife. Don't lie to your children. Okay? That's important. That's God's character, is the opposite of lying and cheating and all that stuff. That's God's character is flawless. A godly man must not work for advancement or recognition. He must work with a higher standard, one that quietly influences others. Quietly influences others. That's the best way. That's the best way. Being like Jesus. Being like Jesus. And we don't do things like when I worked, or if you work at the church, or you do things at the church, you don't do it to get a pat on the back. You just don't do it for that reason. In the home, godly men must lead with care and responsibility. With care and responsibility. We are to care for our family. Men, we are to take care of our wives. Our wives should be second under God. God's first. God should be first. Okay? God's up here. He should be first in our lives. Then comes our wives. Our wife comes before our children, comes before our parents. So men, your wife is second. God is first, your wife is second. Okay? You're not second, I'm not second, my wife is second. Remember that. Leadership in the family requires patience, provision, and discipleship rooted in grace. We have to show our children grace. We have to show our wife grace. And raising children, especially nowadays, is not easy. Not with all this social media stuff, and there's just a lot of bad things going out there. So we have to step up. I mean, I'm a grandfather. So I have to step up. I want to influence my grandchildren in a quiet way. I told my daughter that. I want to influence them. My actions is what influences them. My actions is what they see. I can talk all this stuff all I want, but what they see me do, because your grandchildren watch you. Your children watch you. A godly man must lead his home humbly. Leadership should never be about self-advancement, but about God's glory and the good of others. Amen. We don't want to do things and then boast about it, thinking we're going to get an award or we're going to get a pat on the back, especially at church, especially in your home. We do it for love, out of love. We do it humbly, having humility. That's why we do it. We want to be like God. We want to be godly. That's what God does. That's what we want to do in our lives. We want to do it, and we want to be leaders in our home and do it in a godly way. Do it in a godly way at church. Don't be, don't be a person that says one thing and then does something else. Have integrity. Integrity is doing what you're doing when nobody's looking. Okay? Y'all have a great day. Hope you enjoy this Monday morning inspirational talk. Remember, God's on the throne, and y'all just be safe out there. God bless you.